Sorry I'm late, ladies and gentlemen. I was taking a dookie. On the damn haters, ladies and gentlemen. I told each and every single one of you. Oh, man. I told each and every, wow, each and every single one of you that Josh Allen was going to win the MVP last night. And in all seriousness, wow, what an accomplishment for our quarterback, 17. 17 finally ended up getting the recognition that he ultimately deserved. Now, it's controversial, right? Because you cannot scroll through X at any point this morning or even last night where you didn't see a lot of people saying, oh, so-and-so ended up getting snubbed. This person deserved the MVP, or this person deserved this accolade more than the other. And that is just the case for each and every single award that was announced last night. But I have to tell you, and like I have been telling this to a lot of people who have been trying to argue that, oh my God, his stats were not that impressive. Hence why Lamar Jackson ultimately should have ended up winning. And personally, I think that is logically backwards, because if that was the case, then essentially Josh Allen should have won MVP last year and Lamar Jackson should have won it this year. And a lot of people will try and come out and say, oh, but what about his 18 interceptions? 18 interceptions don't tell the entire story. If those 18 interceptions caused this Buffalo Bills team to go 7-9 in 2023, and we lost exclusively because of those, then that is an entirely different story. Half of Josh Allen's interceptions in 2023, as we know, were arm punts, and outside of maybe one or two occasions, really didn't hurt the team, right? When you reflect back on that season, still a quality season at 11-6, and ultimately ended up winning the division by itself. And then now you end up looking at this year, right? Where Lamar Jackson ultimately ended up having an incredible season. He got first team All-Pro. But I think this is the year where the NFL finally ended up living up to the name of this said award, and that is truly the most valuable player. Like, what does value mean, ladies and gentlemen? And the one thing, I'd say my favorite way of describing this, of defining the term value or valuable, has to do with if you were to remove said player from this team, what would they be? And I think a lot of people who are in denial at this point have completely forgotten the narratives that were associated with the Baltimore Ravens and also the Buffalo Bills in August. In August, or earlier in that offseason period, we saw the news break that Derrick Henry was going to be traded to the Baltimore Ravens. And folks, just do a simple Google search of when that happened. Like, just go and look at all of the social media noise once that occurred. Everybody and their mother was saying, oh my God, the Baltimore Ravens, they are getting it done this year. They are Super Bowl contenders. Perhaps one of the best Ravens teams Lamar Jackson has ever been a part of. This Ravens team is going to be world breakers. And they were. They were for the most part until they ultimately ended up getting sent home in the divisional round, which seems to be something that happens almost each and every single year. But then I also want you to take a look at the offseason narratives for the Buffalo Bills, right? What were the offseason narratives for the Buffalo Bills? And I genuinely want to ask anybody in here that is not a Bills fan to be honest with themselves and recall what it was. Stephon Diggs, gone. Gabe Davis, gone. Our only two receivers were going to be Khalil Shakir and Mac Hollins, and a rookie in Keon Coleman, right? No Tre'Davious White, no Jordan Poyer, no Micah Hyde. A young, struggling defense. All of the narratives around the Buffalo Bills were they were going to win 8 to 9 games, and the division was going to go to the Dolphins or the Jets, depending on who you asked. But the Buffalo Bills were not going to win the division because of all those departures. And you even ultimately end up looking at a specific talking head. I want to say that it was Emmanuel Ogba. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name right now. Acho said it perfectly. He said, if the Buffalo Bills make the playoffs at all, and that was just the low bar that he ultimately ended up setting, then Josh Allen better win the MVP because that would mean that he would need to go nuclear and watch all those narratives completely disappear, evaporate with a snap of the finger when the Buffalo Bills ultimately ended up going 13-4, basically won 14 games. We're not going to count that week 18 where we were sitting all of our starters, right? Second highest scoring offense in the NFL by itself. And then we saw Josh Allen end up literally carry a team. Like literally carry a team. Like as far as our defense, fantastic. Yes, we had a couple of takeaways. That was our identity. But there's no question that this Buffalo Bills team's defense was an absolute liability, particularly when it came into stopping teams on third down. This offense ultimately ended up leading us into this season that we had, and it was all led by Josh Allen. It's funny because you know what? Like while I was in New Orleans, I had a video that's not dropped yet. We're still editing it, but I was trying to do an experiment. I was trying to go up to Kansas City Chiefs fans and Philadelphia Eagles fans, basically anybody that was not a Bills fan. And I was walking up to them in the street and I was asking them, hey, who is the leading wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills this year in 2024? And I did it in person because I know that anybody watching this live stream and or watching this video on playback has Google at their side. So I was putting people on the spot and I was just like, hey, who was the leading wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills? Maybe one person out of the 40 people that I asked was correct. One person. So many Amari Coopers, so many Keon Colemans, so many Dalton Kincaids that we ultimately ended up getting. So if I can't find a person in real life to confidently look me in the eye and say, oh, yeah, that was the leading receiver, or that's how many yards so-and-so ended up having, you have to give the nod to the one person who ultimately ended up leading. And that just so happens to be Josh Allen. So fantastic. I am super thrilled that the quarterback in Buffalo finally got the recognition that he deserved. I do believe that he deserved this award. I do think that Lamar Jackson had a wonderful season this year. But as far as value is concerned, as far as truly being your team's only option at success, has to go to Josh Allen. Anyone. And no one's going to take it away from him. Not a single soul is going to take it away from him outside of the people that are perhaps coping watching this video right now. Like that's basically where we're at, guys. Do me a favor, smash that like button as you are coming in. Guys, easiest way to support what I am doing over here. We have 93 of you on YouTube. We have 119 of you on X, 2 of you on the book, and 3 of you on Twitch. We're sitting here having a nice little conversation about Josh Allen and his ultimate MVP award. Shout out to William Mattar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. If you are ever in a car accident, you need to make sure that you give my guy Will a call. All right. It's important to have great representation when this happens, and he is your guy. And also stay tuned for his Super Bowl spot that is going to be playing all over Western New York. I cannot wait to see it. I've heard a little tease of it, and I'm going to be watching for it. Like there is no questions. You won games because the Bills defense was #1 in getting turnovers. Glenn, the amount of coping that I see from you on a regular basis is absolutely insane. Sure, we ended up getting turnovers, but we were amongst one of the worst defenses in the league for stopping third downs. We couldn't get a stop. I love the fact that this Buffalo Bills team was able to generate turnovers. That's what saved us. That was one of the very few redeeming factors. But we had 0 pass rush once again. We couldn't stop a third down in general. We won games, Glenn, because we were the second highest scoring offense in the NFL. And the only team that scored more points than us on average was the Detroit Lions, who we ultimately ended up beating as well. So I have no idea what you're doing with this cope situation, with this gotcha mentality, but you're wrong. You're coping. Josh Allen, the guy that you have been so critical of ever since you have been watching me and or the AFC East Roundtable and or Roundtable Sports, is the MVP, and I hope it really pisses you off. I hope it ruins your day. I'm just kidding, Glenn. Hope you have a wonderful day, but I hope that this Josh Allen thing pisses you off. Yes, but Jackson is not Mahomes. And we won because Josh Allen and the O-line and James Cook. But really, at the end of the day, would you have trusted Mitchell Trubisky to go out there if he was injured and be able to put any of this out there? It's just kind of how it is. Now he has the biggest, baddest back that ran for 1,900 yards that didn't help Lamar at all, along with 8 Pro Bowlers, whatever the number is. Look, I'm not taking away anything from Lamar Jackson. He had a great year, right? Like, he deserved those first team all pro because he had the stats and that's what wins. But I feel like this is the first year where they ended up getting it right. Actually having a definition of value. What does value mean for your team? Like, what does value mean for your team? Let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending that Derrick Henry was not valuable to the Baltimore Ravens. And nobody in here has to tell me about James Cook either, because Derrick Henry had like 900 more rushing yards, way more attempts, was a massive piece of that offense, where James Cook was just a cherry on top for this team. He did well, and I think James Cook is going to have a great season next year. I think him and Derrick Henry are going to be aligned as far as statistics, but I just disagree with you. Like, it's funny, with that experiment I ran in New Orleans, I tried going around and I approached random people on the spot, so I knew that they couldn't look it up. I asked them, who is the Buffalo Bills leading receiver this year? And 1 to 2 people out of 40 got it correct that were not Bills fans, that had nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills. So if that doesn't tell you how valuable somebody is to a team, to win 13 games, second highest scoring offense in the NFL, is what it is. What does Mahomes have to do this? Lamar is not Mahomes. By the way, who did Lamar lose to in the AFC Championship game last year? Chiefs fans can talk all the smack that they want. Ravens fans can't say a word. Dan, I'm so glad you're live right now. Go Bills. Rosie, it's a celebration stream. It is a celebration stream, as many of you guys know. I'm so glad that I am back from New Orleans. As you can see, my Super Bowl credential is sitting on Bob right there. I was there for the past couple of days, just doing a bunch of coverage. I'm sure you can see all of the interviews over on Roundtable Sports, like socials. And I'm so glad to be back for my regular streaming schedule, folks. We are back in action twice a day at 11 a.m. EST and 5:15 p.m. EST. We have predictions. You have the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers in your division, and a Bengals team with no defense. We beat them all. Craig, let me see. As a Giants fan, I was happy Josh Allen won his MVP. I was upset that Eli Manning didn't make the Hall of Fame. I feel like he was snubbed. Eli, who won 2 Super Bowls, his time is coming. His time is coming. His time is coming. Congrats, but you do not get a I beat Lamar award. Well, hey, man, listen, he did get the MVP, and that's all that matters to me, because your defense got more turnovers. I've already completely dunked on that take. It means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing, Glenn. Ravens beat the Bills when it matters. Then talk all you want. And even when it comes into turnovers, you still need your quarterback to be efficient in the red zone. And being efficient in the red zone is not something that should be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Like, guy was insane. And what also, how I look at this is, we look at a quarterback in Josh Allen that was known as a turnover machine, right? Like, everyone crowned him as the turnover machine. How do you go from a turnover machine in 2023 to having statistically the best season of a quarterback in the NFL ever in protecting the football? It's a fact. Josh Allen had the best statistical season of a quarterback ever in protecting the football. It's pretty damn good. That means that he had to completely change his identity so that his team could win. I've seen Josh Allen go out there and throw for well over 4,500 yards, 4,600 yards, well over 30-plus passing touchdowns, going absolutely nuclear. But what the Buffalo Bills needed him to do was be a different kind of quarterback this year so that we could succeed, because of the lack of talent that we had from a personnel standpoint. I've seen Josh Allen go off and absolutely destroy statistics. He's done it like 4 seasons out of his career already. But this was by far the most efficient football that he has ever played, and it shows. It shows. We ended up making the AFC Championship when everybody thought that we weren't going to win the division, much like yourself, Glenn. You also said the Buffalo Bills were not going to win the division like you do each and every single year. But here we are, wrong again. They are mad as hell, Dad. Yes, they are absolutely mad. And oh my God, I am savoring every single second of it because it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. We have Jordan Smith. Eli Manning, without the 2 Super Bowls, has nothing and is not a Hall of Famer. Without Allen, Bills miss the playoffs. Without Lamar, Ravens are fine because Henry completely carries them. I wouldn't go that far. So I wouldn't say that Henry would carry them to the playoffs if Lamar Jackson was not out there. But I do think that a Ravens team without Lamar Jackson and a Bills team without Josh Allen, I still would pick the Ravens to win a couple of more games than the Buffalo Bills. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. What I am saying is you swap the divisions and we will still have 14 wins. Agreed, Eli has the worst team in Super Bowl history. Who is the QB of Lamar goes down? Well, I mean, you're the Ravens fan. Who is that? Who is that? It does not piss me off because the ultimate MVP is Super Bowl MVP. Does Josh have one of those? Does anybody from your recent memory of Dolphins players have anything at all? Make the playoffs before you start talking about Super Bowl MVPs, Glenn. We don't care about your dusty VHS tape from a 70s Super Bowl where you were like 3 years old. Like, you don't even remember it. Like, what were you, like 5 years old when you ultimately ended up winning? Like, come on, dude. Get out of here. And a Super Bowl MVP is largely a team accomplishment. Like, your team needs to get you there to be in contention by itself. So I'm glad it pisses you off sitting here coping. Thank you for your view. Lamar's 2023 MVP is literally the most questioned MVP of all time. It certainly is, because Dak and Josh Allen had better stats than Mr. Lamar Jackson that one year. I'm not even specifically mad right with Lamar winning his first MVP. He was unanimous. He had an incredible MVP that year. But last year was certainly up for debate. All Glenn seems to want to do is gatekeep, and he roots for the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL. He roots for the most dysfunctional fan base in the NFL. Like, dude's a Dolphins fan. Like, he has like no stake, like no say in this conversation. Like, worry about what you have right here. Josh Allen should have got it in 2023 and Lamar should have got it in 2024. That I am completely fine with. I do not hate that. I do not hate that conversation. Saquon will get the MVP this coming Sunday. Wouldn't that be good? Also, the Jets and Dolphins are better than Cleveland, and Pittsburgh aren't anything special. What? Jets and Dolphins are better than Cleveland, and Pittsburgh aren't anything special. So I'll give you Cleveland, but not that. I could not tell you who is the receiving leader on most teams. Doesn't matter. Dan, freaking hash, baby. They didn't believe us, did they? Josh Allen QBR 77.3 and Lamar was 77.2. Enough said. No only QB in history to score over 49 plus touchdowns 5 years straight. Absolutely, Ward. Absolutely. It's about time that people start understanding it, especially in a league that is mostly a passing league and looks down on running backs. Stop lying to yourself. We beat the Steelers comfortably in the playoffs last season, and we beat them twice in the regular season. Maybe a split with Cincy, but my friend, we split with New England. Go Bills. Dan, Josh Allen MVP. Bob should get smacked for that. He got smacked at the beginning of the episode. I'm going to save Bob a little bit. He took a lot of beatings this season, but don't worry. Me beating the hell out of Bob is going to be coming back, etc. Well, Glenn, that's because you're a casual like most Finns fans. Oh, my God. We split with New England because we rested starters in week 18. If we played the starters, we would have absolutely destroyed them. 5 years W. Nara, go Bills. Already excited for next season. You and me both. Ravens hate stats in 2023 and love stats in 2024. Have to pick a camp. Dan, Stephon Diggs is an undrafted free agent coming off of an ACL injury. If he is willing to come back to play again with the rating MVP or on an inexpensive incentive late in 1-year deal in 2025, would you sign him? No, not at all. Not at all, man. His personality was not good for this locker room, which I think was pretty clear, like based off of how this offense was operating without him. No, not at all. if there's anything that I want to do or any sort of position group that I would like to spend money on and or assets on, it has to be the edge rusher position. Everything else I'm fine with sort of looking at like with the draft, right? Like a lot of really cool prospects are coming up, especially at the wide receiver position. I love Jalen Royals. I love Jaden Higgins, who I think would be a great fit for this team. But as far as trading and free agency, if we make any big name move, it has to be an edge rusher. And I would be fine with making a trade for Myles Garrett, number one. And I'm fine with sending over like 2 first rounds and a second. I'm fine with that. And then same thing with Max Crosby and same thing with Trey Hendrickson. But I think Myles Garrett needs to be the big prize when it comes into it. No to Stephon Diggs. If you went with that point of not turning the ball over, that is better. But Allen's stats sucked. And so did Lamar Jackson's, Glenn. So did Lamar Jackson's. I have never seen anybody be so confident in absolute shit takes for the past like 3 years. Like you present yourself as like this all like knowing ball knower, but you're consistently wrong. Like you are consistently wrong, especially about your Dolphins and especially about the demise of the Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure if it's you like manifesting that this team finally falters so your team has a shot in hell, but the confidence of absolute shit takes, I'm actually envious. I'm actually envious of the confidence or the delusion behind your absolute god-awful takes. It completely just goes wild. I knew Allen was going to win when I saw him sitting front and center, and I didn't see Lamar. Did Josh already know he won? I feel like that you get signs from it. So the second that I saw that he actually attended, I kind of knew something was up. And once I didn't see Lamar Jackson out there, I also kind of knew that he wasn't going to win it. I don't know. Let's see. I knew Allen was going to win when I saw him sitting front and center, and I didn't see Lamar. Did Josh already know he won? Probably. Dolphins fans that don't even know who Bob Grease is talking crap. Prediction, not hard to understand at all. We have Jason L. So Lamar Jackson had a way better regular season stats than Josh Allen. And the exact same thing could be said in 2023, where both Josh Allen and Dak Prescott had considerably better statistics than Lamar Jackson. Both of them did. Is what it is. Who is the most valuable player? That is truly what it means. He's a casual, and all Finns fans are. Marshall, if you want to go back to the 70s, Glenn, I guess Bills fans can go. It's the AFL, and the Bills were dominating the AFL then. Look at that. Sup, Dad? Hector, how you doing, man? Let's go, Josh. MVP. Jets forever. Sympathy MVP. LMAO. We have the Jets forever in here. I mean, dude, listen. Am I going to question or discredit an MVP award that was voted by the NFL itself? Or am I going to let it diminish my thoughts of the award because some 16-year-old who should be in school right now is discrediting it and calling it sympathy MVP LMAOOOO, right? That's what ladies do to you when you try to approach them for a date, my guy. Like, we already know that. We know that you get no pull. And so we know that that you have no game full. That's precisely what it is. And I look forward to the Jets once again announcing in 3 years, breaking Aaron Glenn is fired. Because you know it's going to happen. Just accept it. Inject it into your veins. It's over with. It's over for the Jets before it even begins. Damn. Jets forever. I typically don't have issues with Jets fans. I love Richie, and a lot of Jets fans have been super cool to me. But it's fans like Jets forever that just put a massive smile on my face when they ultimately end up failing. That's really what's going crazy. Josh had a QBR of 77.3, so Lamar was 77.2. Fact check. He got that chain. I knew. Buff Daddy D, non-mafia keeps coming into Bill's podcast. So to feel what it's like to be on a winning franchise. No. It's fine. I actually welcome every single NFL fan base in here. I have like a pretty big following on TikTok and Instagram where I covered the NFL. So that is why. That is why. They hate the Buffalo Bills, but they are a Dan Mitchell fan, which certainly makes me happy. Here's the thing. Allen did things he wasn't expected to do. He's not expected to lead the rush game. He's not expected to leap over defenders. He's not expected to break records on a consistent basis. And he's done it before. Like Josh Allen's best season was still significantly better as far as the statistical standpoint. Like what I'd say with the Josh Allen's best stat season ever, still significantly better than what Lamar Jackson was able to do this year, or at least similarly aligned to it. Josh has shown that he can do that. He can put up stats like that, but it wasn't a winning formula. A winning formula was him playing the exact same way that he did this year, with a massive focus on protecting the football and making quality throws. That's basically what it is. Brett, NFL MVP this year, Super Bowl MVP next year. Let's get it going. What's up, Dan? You have any MVP merchandise on the roundtable? Eric Kuntz, I'll tell you what, it is in the works, my friend. It is in the works. So much for Josh as the most overrated player. Dude, we're sitting here running victory laps on the people today, and I love it. Bills Mafia will not tolerate racism against Lamar. If you are one of those people, get the living hell out of our fan base, because you are not one of us. We don't want you in here, and we never did. If any of you guys are putting anything with like race right into like your takes of as into why Josh ultimately ended up winning or Lamar ended up winning, or like you were like sitting there like calling like slurs out to somebody, a player or anybody in here, quite kindly go fuck yourself and unsubscribe from me. Like, I want nothing to do with you. I think that you are an absolute piece of shit, a piece of human garbage, and you don't deserve to sit here and watch and engage with us. So mods, if anybody does anything like that or says anything along those lines, like, please do me a favor and kindly go fuck yourself and get out of here. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, nothing to do with you, and we don't want you in here. None of that. If you want to say that Lamar Jackson did not deserve the MVP, I am completely fine with that, because it's true, because Josh Allen did deserve the MVP this year based off of play. But if I see any of this at all, kindly go fuck yourself is what I have to say. Thank you. Ward is coming in. Wasn't expected to play in the NFL's Let's Go Josh Allen. Is a running back. He can't throw consistently. He's had several seasons over 4,500, 4,600 yards, man. It's basically just how it is. TD, that MVP bum. That's what I'm talking about. Get out of here. Even though we got a game off the Bills, it was more of a win for the Bills instead of the Pats. Agree. Absolute weirdos who seriously need to consider getting a job. It's wild to me. It's wild to me, bro. For real. It's amazing how much people are bothered with this year's MVP, but last season's nobody had anything to say. It's wild. Allen took home 3 awards: MVP, Art Rooney, and FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Year. Our quarterback, go Bills. Is it the Jersey Jets or the Nets? The Station Island Crop Dusters. Interesting. Agreed, Dan. People get real brave on social media. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it classy, man. Yeah, dude, it's I don't know. See, I sort of pity people like that, because I know that they were probably terrorized when they were a kid, or like they probably still get bullied in real life, and this is like their safe place where they can talk shit, or like they have like deep-rooted insecurity issues. So I kind of feel bad for them, and so I pray for them on the side. But if you want the smoke, you're getting the smoke, fool. Like, that's how I look at it. MVP. Later, Milo. We don't get that within here. Absolutely. Got effing goosebumps seeing Josh getting some of his outstanding performances year in and year out. It's funny. It's funny. MVP. Finally, we can go shut up the effing haters. Oh my God. Josh Allen is king. Look at that. Why are Jets fans even talking about the 500? Chirp. Bills fans pumping their chest because of some hardware. LMAOO beat the Chiefs when it matters. So here's the deal, little kid. Because obviously I know that like you have zero hair on your chest, fool. You have zero hair on your chest and you don't own property and you live in under mommy's roof. I know that already because nobody uses LMAO with an extra O unless, of course, you're a mouth breathing Fortnite playing kid. All right. So let me tell you something. Everybody in the world is saying, oh, like y'all have a Kansas City Chiefs problem. Everybody in the NFL has a Kansas City Chiefs problem. Who does not have a Kansas City Chiefs problem? Who does not have a Kansas City Chiefs problem? Do y'all really think that you would do any better against the Kansas City Chiefs? Because last time I checked, I'm pretty sure that the Kansas City Chiefs have a winning record against every single team in the NFL with the exception of the Buffalo Bills, where they are tied at 500. That is the only thing. And you're like, what about playoffs? What is your overall record? What is your attempt against the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, what's your attempt against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs? Everyone's sitting here laughing, being like, hey, man, Bills fans can't get past Mahomes. Well, here's the funny thing. Your teams can't get past the Buffalo Bills. So I hope you enjoy the next 5 or 6 years where the AFC Championship is the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the entire NFL has a Kansas City Chiefs problem. But last time I checked, every single team in the NFL, with the exception of the Kansas City Chiefs, has a Buffalo Bills problem. So enjoy. Enjoy your Super Bowl for getting to the divisional round, because that's largely what it's going to be like for you for a very long time. A very, very long time. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the only team that can beat us, especially where this team is coming from right now, especially with how much this team has gone through, especially with how this team ended up making it to the AFC Championship with a much lesser roster than we ever had, especially since Joe Brady is coming back next year, especially since we have money this year. We have all of our draft picks ready to go. We're going to be making a move for like a huge edge rusher. Like, do you really think that if the Buffalo Bills made it as far as we did on what was supposed to be a rebuild year, that we're just going to falter? You're absolutely nuts. So how this all plays out is sit there and rip off your LMAOs, but really that's what I do to your sorry teams. Of course, outside of the Kansas City Chiefs. Because while the Buffalo Bills have a Kansas City Chiefs problem, the rest of you fools have a Buffalo Bills problem equally. That's how it is. That's how it is. And who's been right for the past 5 years? Jets fans and Dolphins fans and the whole nine. And they all come in like hoping for the best. But oh no, what happens? It's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills breaking your hearts. Is what it is. Is what it is, man. It's how it works. It's how it works. Cope and accept. Cope and accept. Bills will pick up Khalil Mack. I'm kind of good on him, man. I'm kind of good on him. Rodgers couldn't even beat the Bills. He will even lost to Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. And the Jets fans are crawling out from under a rock. I really can't wait for Aaron Glenn and so to be a failure. And I love Aaron Glenn, but it's mostly these Jets fans that are just killing me right now. People in New York City are like, I can't be happy. I don't want anybody to be happy. That's what I'm saying. And the Jets are the literal definition of LMAO. It's absolutely insane. Zach, Dan, and do you have any fear people have Joe Brady offense on tape for 2025 season? No, not necessarily, because we didn't even have the appropriate personnel, right? Like, we didn't have a field stretcher, and I have a feeling that it's largely based off of personnel. Funny thing is the Chiefs didn't beat us alone. And I probably wouldn't even say to a point that this offense was successful based off of the scheme exclusively. Like, we ran the ball very effectively, and running the football is largely pretty easy to scheme against, but you can't scheme against quality personnel on the offensive line and then also at the running back position by itself, especially like when like you're having like different stuff. Funny thing is the Chiefs didn't beat us alone. They had help. LMFAO, it's easy to make it as far when you play the AFC East. Why are we acting like the Bills have made the AFC Championship consistently? We've made it twice during so the era of Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. And we've had plenty of quality playoff wins, along with 2 beating Lamar Jackson. 2 beating Lamar Jackson, which makes it even beautiful. I love when people pull up lists and stuff like that. And they're like, these are the quarterbacks that Josh Allen and the Bills have defeated in the playoffs. Make sure you put Lamar Jackson twice, because that's precisely what it is. That's precisely what it is, baby. So again, the Buffalo Bills are coming back, and persona non is what it is. I'm not really sure who you root for, but like the Buffalo Bills have a Kansas City Chiefs problem, you have a Buffalo Bills problem. And the only team that can genuinely stop us is the Kansas City Chiefs. It's how it is. Not watching the Super Bowl by stocks is refusing to do it. Jets fans, look at that. Pat Mahomes has beaten 30 teams in his career, right? Is what it is. Jets and Finns never making the playoffs again for the next 10 years, man. Dude, like it's how it is. Dan, so you get a 10-yard penalty for bullshit. Yo, what are you talking about, bro? So with a rookie head coach, nice try, Jets fans. 191 of you on YouTube right now. What is going on, my people? What is going on, my people? I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning on in, showing a little bit of love, man. Always a good time. This is a celebration stream, obviously, because we have some things to talk about today, and I can't wait to get into it. I do want to go on ahead. Hold up. Let me pull this up real fast. Bear with me here, folks. All right. Okay. Anyway, I do want to go on ahead and give a little shout out right to Roundtable Sports, because a lot of us are in mock draft season, much like myself. And one thing that I find pretty interesting is that Roundtable Sports, my media company that was just at the Super Bowl, that was at the Senior Bowl, that has a bunch of divisional debate shows. And this goes for each and every single fan that is not a Bills fan that is watching this. Okay. Like, we have a debate show for all of your teams where we pin them against your divisional rivals, where they just rip each other's throats out on a weekly basis. I highly recommend you go show those shows some love. It's personalities exactly like myself, TD, Richie, etc. However, a lot of us are in mock draft periods, and I do want to point this out to everybody. We ended up launching a couple of new tiers on Patreon. Number one is the practice squad tier, and that's going to give you access to our exclusive Discord. So if anyone loves talking ball, loves talking a little trash within their own division or in the NFL, or just likes being informed of what is going on within the league, we have an exclusive Discord. It's membership only, which is super exciting. And then we also have the starter. If you guys are film junkies and you are really interested in taking a look at what some of these prospects are looking like coming into the NFL draft, and you want to watch some of these film reviews, go on ahead and check out the $5 tier right there. It's $5 a month. It's the price of a Dunkin' coffee. It's the price of a candy bar, what have you. A lot of really cool exclusive content is coming to Roundtable Sports. And then we also have a bunch of other tiers if you're interested in looking at some of those benefits, but definitely check out the Patreon. It is currently linked at the top of this live chat, and you'll be supporting the boys over here, which is always a good thing. Ian, he's only got 2 teams left to beat. Who are they? By the way, Pats are better than the Jets because we got Mike Vrabel, while the Jets have a rookie head coach. We have DTN, the number 1 Jets hater in the world, and I love it. Guys, thoughts on Saquon Barkley winning Offensive Player of the Year? Hopefully Eagles lose the Super Bowl, and Eagles fans are really nasty to Giants fans. So my guy hates the Eagles as much as I'm sure a lot of the AFC hates the Kansas City Chiefs, right? It sucks, right? Because like I want to pick the Eagles, right? Because from a personnel standpoint, like from a roster perspective, it should be the easy answer, right? Like, this Eagles defense is insane. Like, love the offensive weapons, Saquon Barkley, et cetera, et cetera. But it's hard for me to pick against the Kansas City Chiefs. I have lost so much money and dignity picking against the Kansas City Chiefs. I just can't do it. So I'm going to say that Kansas City three-peats. I would love if Philly can prove me wrong, but that's just kind of where my thoughts are on the game. It's crazy on here in the YouTube streets. I'm the jerk. What's going on, man? How you doing? Milo, welcome to West Her, New York. Oh my God, look at that. Lamar is worth less than no. I wouldn't say that. He's a stud. He's good, man. Listen. So I'm not gonna say, all right, listen. There is a world, folks, where you could say that Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback, but also say that Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. There is a world. In my opinion, I think that there are really only three real elite QBs in the NFL, and that is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. I think those are the top three. I don't believe that we should include a fourth player until proven otherwise. That's just how it is. I think that there are only three elite quarterbacks in the NFL. I feel like the term elite is thrown around way too much, and I feel like we kind of need to curb our overall expectations and stop using the term GOAT and or elite too loosely. I think there's only three elite quarterbacks in this league: Pat Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen. That's where I'm at. Jets forever, not worried about Myles Garrett. Olu got him. We have Farah. I am reluctantly going to a Super Bowl party. Go Birds. And I made a ref jersey with Kansas City logo on it, which I plan on wearing. I love it. I love it. Go Bills. MVP. Finally, we can shut up the effing haters. My God. If I'm putting 50 on it, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, sadly. I can't pick against them. Like, I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs lose, but let's be honest with ourselves, folks. How many times have we looked at a Kansas City Chiefs matchup and saw a team that on paper was leaps and bounds better than they were, and we walk away acting like idiots, looking like idiots? It's hard for me to pick against them. I want the Eagles to win. Please do not make the mistake of thinking I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not. I'm just accepting what is inevitable at this point. Like, that's basically what it is. So remember when Lamar went 9 for 30 in a game and won MVP? I do not. So here's the deal, man. It's same thing I explained at the beginning of this episode. Same thing that I explained at the very beginning. This offseason, when Derrick Henry was traded over to the Baltimore Ravens, the narrative was that the Baltimore Ravens were going to be world beaters, probably win the Super Bowl, make it to the AFC Championship. No one ever thought that the Ravens were going to be absolute ass. But the Buffalo Bills, everyone thought that we were going to win 8 to 9 games and not even win the division. What happened was that Josh Allen had to become a different kind of quarterback because we had personnel issues, and he led us to the second highest scoring offense in the NFL, higher than the Baltimore Ravens. It's an absolute solidified fact. He also ended up leading his team to back-to-back victories against 15-win teams, which has never been done before. And he went from a turnover king, right, to having the best statistical season as a quarterback ever when it came into protecting the football. I feel like Josh Allen is a hell of a lot more important to the Buffalo Bills than, of course, Lamar Jackson is to the Baltimore Ravens. And again, I think Lamar is an elite quarterback, all right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when it comes into value, it's Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen all day. I hate the Chiefs and I don't like Eagles fans. It's like picking. And plus, with this persona, I honestly don't remember the last time that. Well, never mind. So actually, I do. I don't think that a guy should win MVP when he has 2 costly turnovers in a playoff game that screws his team. So the ugliest interception I've ever seen from him during the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round, and then a fumble, which lost them that game. Don't sit back and say that it was Mark Andrews' fault, because say that Lamar Jackson didn't fumble that football without even being touched, that y'all wouldn't have even been in a position to drive down the field and have a game-winning drive. That game's on Lamar. He shouldn't have fumbled the football, and he did. Is what it is. So that's kind of my thought process on it. It's his fault. That's why the Baltimore Ravens lost in the playoffs, which is because of Lamar Jackson. And so the sooner that you accept it, like, well, who the hell is this guy? Man's begging for my attention constantly, and I'm just here participating in the chat. I have no idea who Milo is. So who we talking about, Milo? So who we talking about? Me or somebody else? What do you do? And do you hate more than the Cowboys? What do you do? And so who do you hate more than the Cowboys? I don't even know. Did Josh have a broken hand during the second half of the Kansas City game? I think it hurt or something like that. Ravens fans, keep them tears coming. We have Marshall. Lamar was absolutely one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Unfortunately, Josh was doing just as much with a hell of a lot less. It's true. So the fumble lost them the game when Andrew fumbles going into the lead. Cut that. Well, dude, listen. If that fumble didn't happen, what would the score have been? Like, what would the score have been? If Lamar Jackson, he contributed to the loss. And he also contributed to the last playoff loss to the Buffalo Bills when he threw a 90-yard pick six. Let's stop pretending that he's not like one of the biggest playoff chokers in the NFL. Like, that's a real narrative. Like, look at the AFC Championship last year against the Kansas City Chiefs. Choked. Shit performance. Look at the playoff appearance against the Buffalo Bills the first time where he threw a 90-yard pick six to Taron Johnson. Lost the game. Look at this previous game where he threw an ugly-ass interception and he fumbled the football, which gave the Buffalo Bills that cushion. If Lamar Jackson didn't fumble that football, what would the score have been? Y'all would have won, right? Y'all would have won. He has costly turnovers in each and every single playoff game, big game that he has ever had in his entire life. I think Lamar is a great quarterback. He is. But you can't deny that he doesn't show up in the playoffs. He just doesn't. He's even admitted that he's a hell of a lot nervous in the playoffs, and he's just not mentally strong enough to play at the level that he does during the regular season. Is what it is, man. It's true. It's a bona fide fact. Season was a failure. MVP is a consolation prize. Well, I mean, is what it is, right? Like, I would probably agree with you, like halfway through the season when the Buffalo Bills were playing lights out. But me and you included, we didn't see this Bills team making it as far as they did. It's just true. It's just true enough. And I'm sure that you are desperately hoping that you will be able to find some success within your own team. No, you mentioned that, and we don't do that here. Yeah, guys, again, none of that, or you are going to be banned from this channel because I do not tolerate that. Lamar sucks. We have the entertainment coming in. Allen didn't lose a fumble versus Kansas City. Last drive with three guys coming in clean. He threw a catchable ball that was dropped. How many other guys even given you a chance in that situation? Longest touchdown of Lamar's career, actually. Holy shit. A choke artist. What does that make Allen then? Even worse. But, like, here's the deal. Again, I love how you just expose yourself for, like, not knowing football. And I'm so glad that you don't have a YouTube channel because holy hell, man, you would just be embarrassing yourself at this point. There is a difference between a quarterback having a stellar performance, but his team losing. And there's also a difference between a team losing, but the QB has a large factor into losing that specific game. That's the key difference. That's the key difference behind all of that. Hi, Dan. Can I just say it's a great day to be a Buffalo Bill, and those haters can go kick rocks. Absolutely. Rage baiting. Ryan is coming on in. Who is rage baiting? Why Jets fans talking enjoy 5 wins bums? It's not about, it's simply that Allen is just a better player. Always has been, always will be. And the Ravens are buns. What cap maneuvering would Brandon Beane have to do to get Myles Garrett or Max Crosby? So here's the deal. And this is going to be a video that I'm going to drop probably sometime next week, but I will give you a tease. So anyone that says that Myles Garrett is going to cost 3 first-round picks does not know football. It's not going to cost that much. It's going to cost 2 first rounds more than likely and a second and a third, maybe a player. And what you have to look at is the Khalil Mack trade back in 2018, back when he was about 27 years old, right? And you also need to look at with Myles Garrett's no trade clause as well. He gets to decide where he's traded to. and he's made it clean and specific. He says that he wants to go to a contender to potentially play at the biggest stage. So he has a choice of where he wants to go. And I think he's made it pretty clear that he wants to go to so a team that has an opportunity of getting it done, right? And when you look at Myles Garrett's contract as well, he does not have any guaranteed salary this year or next year. So none of it's guaranteed. So you could easily restructure that right into a deal where you can make it backloaded rather than front loaded. It can be done by the Buffalo Bills. And if people ask me, like, Dan, like, would you spend 2 first-round picks back-to-back years and a second? You're damn right I would. You were damn right I would. Is what it is. Fuck those picks, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Being fair, the season wasn't a failure with the roster we had going into the AFC Championship. Getting there, though, and not winning sucks, of course, because of previous years. I mean, listen, we were supposed to be in a rebuild year. That's basically just how it plays out. Dan, what's good? Matthew, hope all is well. Softest mods I've ever seen. Total anarchy in here. Milo K is coming in. I have no idea what's going on. Who is the anarchy? Miles or Max? Karma is saying it's nothing but embarrassment at this point. People who know ball and people who don't. So you can precisely tell the difference. Absolutely you can, brother. Y'all stop with we're talking football here. Who's doing that, man? All right, dude, listen. I need some damn mods. No, dude, listen, man. It's done. I'm sorry. It's done, bro. I'm not allowing any racism in here. I'm sorry, bro. You're done. Where is that fool? Where is that fool? Done. Done. He's out. He's done. I told you I'm not allowing that in here. Screw Von Miller, sign Max Crosby. Okay, the NFL might not be scripted, but the refs do favor the Chiefs. What are your thoughts, Dan? I wouldn't say that. It's just that, so the NFL refs are just incompetent and are just not good. How are you hating on us? Josh beat you bums 2x this year. He's 9-4 versus your sorry ass team. Thank you, Lino. For the love of God, it's a guarantee that Lamar chokes. Buffalo wings. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. If we see anything else like that, it's done. It's done. No one's bringing up racism in here. No one's bringing up race in any capacity, or like, you're done. Is what it is. Def not a failure. The Bills overachieved. Lamar chokes on his 2 MVP trophies. That's why they did not give him one last year. Let's see what else we're doing. Also, we're the Ravens fans who had the mouth to talk about Josh not winning. I have no idea where he is. He's gonna be gone until the Bills play them again. This is the last straw. Stop in the personal attacks, please. All right, guys, listen. So here are my rules when it comes into the live chat. And this is something I'm going to have to talk about to like some of my moderators here. I am fine with you coming in and talking shit about ball, but there's no personal attacks to anybody right within. So this live chat. So you can't personally attack anybody in this chat. I'm fine with you don't know ball. Like, that's fine. As long as it's a football related insult and like you're talking shit about another team, that's cool. But that's all I ask. Come in here and tell me that the Buffalo Bills suck and they're terrible and that Josh Allen did not deserve the MVP. But just stop. Just stop with it. Mods, if we can get that right, make it happen. Look at that, dude. Mike Bridges. Go Dogs, baby. $20 from my boy Dan. Love the channel. I've been following you from the beginning. I just don't see McDermott getting us any further than he has, and defense has gotten worse every year since Frazier stepped away. Tell me otherwise. So first off, man, I sincerely appreciate that donation. That goes crazy. You are the man. I feel like McDermott's evolved quite a bit this year. And I think a lot of our issues had to do with personnel rather than coaching, right? I would be okay with moving away from McDermott. But the problem is that I just don't think that this ownership has any desire to do it, right? So why would I pound the table when I know that I would have zero influence in making it happen? I want to see what this team looks like with a game-breaking edge rusher. Because when you look at what the Buffalo Bills' weaknesses were this year, it was stopping third downs. Like, we couldn't get a stop. We couldn't know. So we didn't know sort of how to get a stop the momentum from the opposing team's offense. And largely that has to do with not having a pass rush, not having a game wrecker as an edge rusher. I think that if we put that in our system, then that makes the entire defense significantly better, all the way from the secondary, linebackers, the whole nine. Like, we'd be all right. But I'd be open sort of walking away from him. But, like, here's the point. I just don't see ownership doing it, right? I feel like it would take Sean McDermott 2 years in a row of not making the playoffs for us to finally walk away. That's kind of my thought process, especially with the Pagulas, right? Like, they have been absolutely shafted by the Buffalo Sabres for the past couple of years. So I think that they're just completely content with our coaching staff since their other asset was so trash for so long. We have Buffalo Wings. McDermott ain't going anywhere yet. I mean, he's not, right? He's not. Like, I would be fine with an offensive-minded coach. And sometimes I've always wondered, what would it be like if Josh Allen had like an Andy Reid or a Sean McVay or some sort of offensive mind like that? But I don't know. I don't know, man. So no, we don't get rid of Cook. We have a lot more slackers to get rid of, dude. Holy shit. We have a $10 donation coming in from Draft Pick. Thank you so much. Draft Pick is coming on in. Oh, wow. All right, guys. Again. Let's just stop talking about this topic, please. They will never get rid of a coach that is filling the stands and making money. Keyword money. We know your team is trash and you have no chance in hell of ever winning the East or anything else. We have Daniel Mooney. What's up, Dan? Missed watching your daily live since the heartbreak, but shit, let's go. Josh Allen, happy for him. So proud of a man I've never met. Well deserved. Daniel Monroy coming in. Thank you so much, man. You're the dog. Sabres are why McDermott still has a job, because of the contrast and can't look like a giant compared to an atom. Absolutely. So Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball because he's had so much buffalo wings before the game. Ryan is coming in saying, I don't think there's been a coach that has been fired for bringing his team to multiple division championships and playoffs nonetheless. McDermott is safe for a while. Dan, keep up the good work, bro. Thank you so much, Draft Pick. I appreciate that, dude. We won East 5 times in a row. We certainly did. Russell over Lamar. Do you believe this? Oh, my God, dude. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy, man. What can the Jets do? Let me answer. Not a damn thing. Hollins is a must to bring back. Love his vibes. Team guy. James? I'll tell you what, James. You are going to love an episode that I am going to be doing later today. It is called Free Agents and how much it would cost for us to bring them back, and would it be worth it? I'm very excited about that stream later today. That is going to be at 5:15 p.m. EST. Folks, 473 of you currently watching right now, 164 on YouTube, 307 of you on X. Reminder, if you were ever hurt in a car, definitely go on ahead and call William Mattar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. All right. And then also smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. I love each and every single one of you, and I will be back later today. Thank you so much. Oh, and then one last from Kat, a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Kat. You are awesome. Peace.